Well, look, we're here with a lot of fans here who are, there's a vigil right behind me. There's a memorial where fans are leaving flowers and candles, and it's quiet here. And I think it reflects how everybody in Los Angeles, maybe all around the world, is feeling, which is you don't know what to say. I mean, the fact that Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and everyone else is gone is still sinking in. I actually, after I did my last hit with you guys, I went in the car and I read back through old text messages that he had sent me, old emails that we had exchanged over the years. And I think I mentioned before when I had my son a little while ago, he was one of the first people to reach out, and he just said, you have been blessed to give birth, a gift women have, and women are walking miracles. And he goes, blink and you will have a teenager on your hands. Trust me, LOL. I mean, that was Kobe. And I've heard from so many people who knew Kobe, who had moments that, Jay was just talking about, where when an athlete would get hurt, who one of the first people who would call him was, even if he knew him or didn't know him? Kobe Bryant. Richard Sherman tears his Achilles. Kobe reaches out. Kevin Durant tears his Achilles. Kobe reaches out. Paul George. I mean, you're going to hear a lot of this over the next couple of days of him being there when somebody he may or may not have known, but somebody he just respected, who needed a little inspiration, who needed somebody to say, I know things are bad right now, but you have it in you, and I know you can do it. And I think that's really the legacy. I think that's what, when you talk about what the Mamba mentality is, that's what I think people here are feeling.
Ramona, I can look at some of the fans behind you. There's some teenagers there, look like some kids even in elementary school. And he has this Mamba Academy there to allow kids the chance to play and develop their games and work on other aspects of growing up as well. And I remember seeing Kobe so many times in his career, whether at Staples Center or even on the road, Ramona, interact with kids and the way they looked up to him, but the way that he would get down on their level to make a connection. Can you speak to that aspect of Kobe as it relates to the kids who looked up to him?
Yeah. Man, I was out here earlier this year. I guess it was last year, 2019, and he was having an event for kids out here, and that's what he cared about now. I mean, when he was doing his comic books, when he was doing his novels, when he was doing his podcasts, they were for young adults. They were for kids, because he felt like somebody needed to talk to kids on their level. Like he wasn't interested in just writing about his own legacy. He was thinking up universes and characters and worlds that kids would understand and understand the message that he was trying to teach them. I think he has always been the author of his own legacy. And at one point, honestly, I think it was around when he tore his Achilles. He started to realize that basketball legacy was going to come to an end, and he wanted to impart that wisdom and everything that he had learned along the way through good times and bad times, right? I mean, you've covered him out here in Los Angeles. We didn't just see this guy grow from a boy to a man. We saw him go from a boy to a man to an old man. We also seen him at the lowest of the lows and in a bad spot several different times of his own making. Okay, and he came back from that. He found a way to go on with his life, but also he really found it important to try to give back to people and how he learned to move on from that moment. I think he acknowledged his failures, he acknowledged his successes, and I think that's what he wanted to leave to children, right? And teach children. That's why everything he's done since he retired has been for kids.
Ramona, Kobe Bryant had one of the greatest careers in basketball history, but he wasn't one to necessarily brag publicly about what he accomplished. Now, if you challenged him on his career, he'd be quick to remind you that he did win 5 championships, and anyone talking trash, he was ready for that conversation. But he had so much reason to be proud of what he accomplished playing basketball. We just showed some video of his daughter Gianna there in one of those games at the Mamba Academy, and he was sitting back with a big smile on his face, looking at her, and I felt in that moment, Ramona, more pride as Kobe, the father, maybe basketball coach of his daughter, than Kobe Bryant, the basketball player.
That's right, and I'm telling you, the last few years, especially since he retired, I'd reach out, something big would happen in the NBA, and I say, hey, you see what happened? Steph did this, or Clay did that, Kevin Durant, whoever it was, and he was like, oh man, I missed the whole thing. I'm at choir practice right now. I'm at basketball practice right now. And, you know, he would tell me about Gigi. He was so proud of Gigi. Like, he was picturing her in the WNBA already. He had her lined up to go to go play for UConn. Okay, and he would always tell me about her because that was his daughter. He felt had that same ferocity, that same Kobe in her, and. Just beaming with pride at how much she loved the game. Like, you know, you saw him at Staples Center. Honestly, I never thought he was going to come to Staples Center after he retired. He joked about it. He goes, man, I live down in Orange County. Why would I ever come up to L.A. again? You know why he came up to L.A.? Because Gigi wanted to watch basketball. Because Gigi wanted to see Trae Young or Luka Doncic. And he would go with her to games. And that was what his life was about at this point. And, you know, I can't believe at 41 he's gone. I can't believe how much he accomplished at 41, you know, in those 41 years. But he really does leave an incredible legacy. And frankly, like, I can't believe how much he's written and said and done that we're all now going to pour over now that he's gone.
It will be interesting to see how that Mamba mentality continues, especially impacting some of the kids that are standing behind you right now at the Mamba Academy there in Newbury Park, California. Pardon me. Ramona Shelburne here on SportsCenter. Thank you.
Mike, the swing of emotions this weekend is just almost too hard to wrap your head around after what we saw from LeBron Saturday night. This is LeBron's Sunday morning after the Lakers made their way back from their game in Philadelphia. They'll play Tuesday night, but obviously you could see LeBron with the tissue there. You can see him kind of dapping up his eyes, totally understanding the moment and what Kobe had meant to him. I mean, he said after yesterday's game, passing Kobe on the all-time scoring list, I mean, that's Kobe Bryant. But think about that for a second. That's LeBron James being in awe of somebody on a basketball court, because that's who LeBron James was and that's who Kobe Bryant was. He did pass him, and Mike, there is a little symbolism here. Kobe adopted Philly as kind of his hometown, right? Played his basketball in suburban Philadelphia. Obviously, Kobe spent his career with the Lakers. LeBron passes him in purple and gold and does so in Philly, and then talked about Kobe after the game.
I mean, it's just too much. It's just too much. The story is just too much. It doesn't make sense. And just to make a long story short, now I'm here in the Lakers uniform in Philadelphia, where he's from, where one of the first time I ever met him, gave me his shoes. He won All-Star Week. It's surreal. It doesn't make no sense, but the universe just puts things in your life, and when you live in the right way, or you just giving everything to whatever you're doing, things happen organically, and it's not supposed to make sense, but it just happens. I'm happy to be in any conversation with Kobe Bryant, one of the all-time greatest basketball players to ever play, one of the all-time greatest Lakers. The man got 2 jerseys hanging up in Staples Center. It's just crazy. It's cool to know that you have the support of one of the all-time greats that ever played this game, and someone that you admired, to be like on the floor, and do the things, win championships, be young, and be remembered. You know, you don't have that much time to play this game, and you know, if you're able to be remembered, you know, for the great things that you did, the positive things that you did, you know, making people feel, you know, great about what you did, that's a pretty cool thing. So I wrote on my shoes tonight. I think I put Mamba for life, 824 KB, because it's really that mutual. So.
You know, the word we keep hearing today from so many people who knew Kobe, at least have some type of relationship with him, Zubin, has been surreal.
Yes.
It's surreal for me sitting here doing this, having covered him for so long as I did in Los Angeles. And you got to feel that for LeBron James right now, that moment, watching that last night, is surreal for him. Little did he know at that time that within 12 hours, Kobe Bryant would be dead. It's
an amazing sort of situation to hear somebody like LeBron talk about Kobe that way. One great, waxing poetic on the other. The 2 greats in their own words.
I look at Kobe Bryant as the best in our league.
LeBron has done so much for the game.
He's an incredible player.
One of the best scorers this game has ever seen.
He's one of the best that we've ever seen.
He's been so much for what he's been able to do for the league. I'm just trying to put on a show for him and give him a reason to be like, okay, we might come to another game.
Kobe Bryant, to me, is one of my favorite role models.
When he first came into the league, he used to call me and bend my ear for advice.
Kobe guarding LeBron. James on Bryant.
It gets to a point where you be like, you know, I didn't think I could get better today, until now you got to guard Kobe Bryant.
Hey, watch the rip! Watch the rip! When I think of LeBron, I think of sheer force as being the initial thrust of his game.
He's definitely somebody that you could be around all the time.
When he and I are around each other, we're always talking, always kind of laughing.
He just tried to dunk on me, Craig. Oh, no. He just tried to dunk on me.
I think it really went to another level when we played on the Olympic team together in 08.
Oh, you like my look?
Got that Kobe Bryant look going.
It's more like a big brother relationship. It kind of always has been.
He looks at me like his younger brother for sure, and that's pretty cool, man.
When he first came on board, I said, listen, you are now family now. You're part of this tradition. So if there's anything you need, just let me know.
Welcome here with open arms, and just to have that support, from one of the greatest Lakers to ever play, it was just special for me.
I once talked to Kobe about maybe becoming a coach in the NBA when he retired from playing. He said, no, there's no way I'm going to do that. The only thing I would ever coach would be my kids. And that's exactly what he was doing with this 13-year-old Gianna, budding young player there in the Southern California area. They were on their way to a game Sunday morning.